What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we are for AEW Rampage. And mini SmackDown, just going over a little bit of SmackDown, because SmackDown was taped tonight, and it was absolutely not worth watching. Before we get into anything tonight, we got to talk about what happened tonight. So, WWE did it again. They waited 2 weeks this time, compared to being on the 15th last year, and the year before that. WWE has come to terms with the release of Dakota Kai, Malcolm Bivens, Harland, and Dexter Lumis, and a bunch of other people, who Persia Parada as well, and a bunch of other men and women from NXT who just weren't cutting the mustard, apparently. So, Dakota Kai I saw coming a mile away. What they did to this woman, she was great. She was a great underdog babyface. Her feud with Shayna Baszler was fantastic. She could easily get sympathy just being her. And then we had that one TakeOver War Games where we had the first ever women's War Games match, and she turned on her best friend, Tegan Nox. Taking Tegan Nox out of the match, taking herself out of the match. Of course, letting Candice LeRae and Rhea Ripley to beat the heel team, which made absolutely no fucking sense, but that's neither here nor there. But she was just great. Then they did the whole thing with her and Raquel Gonzalez. They were a thing. Raquel wins the women's championship. Dakota Kai turns on her. They have a match at the final TakeOver. I think it was TakeOver 36 was the where they had their title match. And Dakota Kai should have won the title there. Absolutely. But she didn't. She lost. And then she became a schizo who had voices talking to her in her head, and she just became a caricature of herself. She was just fantastic. Somebody who should have had this is what sucks. Dakota Kai is too fucking talented. The only championship she's going to have to her name in WWE are two meaningless NXT tag team title reigns for the women. The first title reign not even lasting 2 hours, and the second one lasting 3 days. So, Dakota Kai is gone. Malcolm Bivens apparently was refusing to re-sign with WWE. So instead of letting his contract come up, they fired him. Because I don't watch NXT, but I watch the clips on YouTube every once in a while. And just from what you saw with the Diamond Mine and everything, and the reaction to that, the way the last 2 weeks that Malcolm Bivens has had this, like, I can't wait to turn on you face to Roderick Strong, that it wouldn't surprise me if Malcolm Bivens, the Creed brothers, and Ivy Niles were going to destroy. That's obviously where it was going, because you have Roderick Strong on NXT sitting there going, this group is too talented to fall apart like my previous group did. And he keeps trying to tell the group that we're too good to fall apart, when that's obviously where they were going. And you could just see it that Malcolm Bivens had this look of, man, I fucking hate you. God, do I fucking hate you look on his face when he was talking to Roderick Strong, or when they were setting up the match for this coming week. So Malcolm Bivens didn't want to resign, so WWE says, fine, we're going to fire you. We don't want you, like, WWE's going to do this. When a talent gets close to the contract running up, I mean, look at Kyle O'Reilly. Kyle O'Reilly's contract came up. They let him walk. He ended up in AEW, 2 weeks later? Adam Cole, his contract came up, and he ended up in AEW, 2 weeks later? WWE doesn't want that. WWE doesn't want a Malcolm Bivens to have his contract come up and possibly head to AEW, which I highly doubt. I don't know. I think his name is Stokely Hathaway. I don't know what he bring to AEW, but that's why they do that. Dakota Kai wasn't going to be signed either. She told them, she pretty much was like, she saw it coming a mile away, because she pretty much told them too that she's not going to re-sign with them, so that's why she got fired. Dexter Lumis they had this guy, like, Triple H had a vision for this guy, had him being like this psychopath, silent psycho killer, like, vibe to him. And then, after Triple H was gone, they turned him into a joke. They turned him into Indy's little bitch. Little, like sad puppy dog eyes. Oh, yes, I saw the wedding. The wedding was kind of funny, pulling out, like, opening his, like, speak now, forever hold your peace. He opens up his coat and there's a fucking axe there, which, that was hilarious. But it's like, yeah. Trisha Prada fucking sucked. Everyone knew she wasn't anywhere. The biggest shock, though, is Harlan. Parker Bordeaux. Isn't this the guy who'd been signed to WWE, endorsed by Paul Heyman, that Brock Lesnar went to the performance, maybe not the performance center, but he went and worked out with this dude. How are you going to fire this guy? I've heard so many times that he's got so many connections to Hollywood and rap and all these other things. WWE likes the celebrity endorsements and everything. Parker Bordeaux could have been that guy. But no, what do? They cut his head. They make him into a skinhead. I'm not going to beat around the bush. They made him into a skinhead. They made him shave his head, stop tanning. He looked white as a fucking ghost, bald, silent, and was the bodyguard of Joe Gacy. He was a skinhead. Whether you want to believe it or not, they made him a fucking skinhead. All the tattoos and everything he has. It was like Vince McMahon goes, shave his head, we need a skinhead on NXT. And how you couldn't keep... Like, honestly, yeah. There were people calling him the next Brock Lesnar, which, no, there's never going to be another Brock Lesnar. Everyone knows that Brock Lesnar is only going to be the only Brock Lesnar ever. But to can be compared as a young version of Brock Lesnar, that's crazy, and that should be good for a guy his age. He needs the time in the ring. He needs to be able to go out there and hone his craft. And maybe he wasn't ready to be on television. That doesn't mean you give up on him. You have him go back to the Performance Center. You have him go work, and you just have him continue to work. Maybe he wasn't improving. Who knows? Maybe he wasn't passionate enough about the wrestling business. I don't know. Obviously, WWE went out there and they said, oh, these were all budget cuts. Today on SmackDown, you had Shotzi Blackheart and get pretty much jobbed out in a minute 14. She quit against Ronda Rousey in a minute, 101 seconds. A minute 41. She sat there crying on the mat in 101 seconds to Ronda Rousey. This woman, if they release anybody this year from the main roster, she's on that list. Shotzi Blackheart, they got nothing for this woman. How they couldn't find anything for her? She's punk rock. She's got this crazy look. She's like... There is a group of people out there, a group of individuals who could latch on and get and look up to a Shotzi Blackheart, and WWE can't find anything for her. She's been sitting in catering and only came here tonight to get beat in a minute and 101 seconds in an I Quit match versus Ronda Rousey. Horrendous. Also, another thing that happened tonight on SmackDown. Drew McIntyre, we were supposed to have the contract signing between RK Bro and Usos. Randy Orton calls I believe it was Jimmy, a little bitch. They brawl, Roman comes out, he tears up the contract, Drew comes out, they start fighting, and then we go to commercial break, we come back after everything's been cleared. Paul Heyman goes to the back and tells Adam Pearce, well, you know that unification match that you wanted, yeah, we're going to update it. We're going to up the ante on that. How about we cancel that unification match and we go the Bloodline versus RK Bro and Drew McIntyre. No titles on the line. Adam Pearce says, no, I got a unification match. I'm not just going to take that down. I'm not going to change that. And Heyman's like, oh, well, I'll just go to the board of directors and get it done anyway. And I wonder why. Why are you going to change that unification match? Why are you going to change the unification match? Why are you going to put Roman Reigns in a 6-man tag match in the main event of a pay-per-view? Does it have something to do with the fact that Roman Reigns is actually injured? Not too injured enough to be in a match, but is it possible that WWE is trying to... the Usos are going to work the majority of that match? Absolutely. I don't know what the reports are on him, like Roman Reigns wrestling on the house show loop. But why would you make this a 6-man tag match? for no other reason other than the fact that you want to have Roman on the card, but you don't want to have Roman in a one-on-one match because he's recovering from an injury. Not an injury too bad enough to keep him out, an injury enough that you have to change the plans of a unification match to get Roman on the card. Because the Usos, the RK Bros, and Drew McIntyre can wrestle 95% of the match. Roman comes in, hits his big spear, hits his Superman punches, and that's that. And it makes you wonder. I saw people talking about Nakamura, the fact that he got screwed out of a championship match twice. Clearly, there was no plans for Nakamura versus Roman Reigns, and whatever they did the Friday after WrestleMania meant absolutely nothing. And of course, outside of the Lumberjack match last week, we hadn't seen Nakamura on television since he got laid out by the Bloodline. So anybody thinking he's going to be doing anything with Roman Reigns, you're out of your fucking mind. Also, of course, the first match of the night was Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. Drew McIntyre won because even though Sami Zayn ran around trying to get out of there like a little bitch that he is, or he's betraying, and not much else you can say about that. Happy Corbin had his happy talk. He interviewed the fucking Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal Trophy because that's riveting television. Only for Madcap Moss to be in disguise, and he beats him up and sends him running. And that was basically the only things on SmackDown that really mattered. Over to Rampage, we have Ring of Honor World Television Champion Samoa Joe versus Trent Beretta, Owen Hart qualifying tournament match. Darby Allin versus Swerve Strickland, Keith Lee versus Colton Gunn, Jay Cutler, Red Velvet, and Kiera Hogan versus Trish Adora, Sky Blue, and Willow Nightingale. So we started the show off with Darby Allin versus Swerve Strickland. Now, I don't know why AEW takes Rampage and has the first match have their entrances on YouTube. Especially since it's an Owen Hart qualifying match. Why are those entrances not happening on Rampage itself? Why are they happening 3 minutes before the show goes on the air? That kind of is not how I want to see the Owen Hart Cup be treated. I want to see the entrances and see these guys get their entrances, get everything, and it just takes away from it, in my opinion. This was a good match. Yeah, Darby Allin and Swerve Strickland go out there and they beating each other up. They beating each other up over and over and over. Apparently, they're both from the Washington State area. And the match is going on. Ricky Starks on commentary, of course he is. There was a scary spot in this match where Swerve Strickland suplexed Darby Allin from the top rope all the way to the entrance ramp, all the way onto the concrete, onto the mats below, and the thud you heard was absolutely scary. So, having the match, it looks like Swerve Strickland's got the win. He hits the kick to the back of the head. Ricky Starks throws his headset down because he's on commentary. I don't know why he's still on commentary, but he throws his headset down. He heads to go confront Swerve Strickland. Swerve comes out of the ring, dumb babyface movement. Well, he was outside of the ring, but he pays attention to this. Sting chases Ricky Starks back. Swerve gets back in the ring. He gets kicked down by Darby Allin. Darby Allin gets him to the Last Supper. 1, 2, 3. Darby Allin wins and and qualifies for the Owen Hart Cup. Nobody kicks out of the Last Supper. Later on, they did have an interview with these two, and Darby Allin's like, "Dude, I didn't want to win it that way." And Stark's like, "Dude, it's no problem. I know that's not you. You ain't gonna do that." But that just pisses me off some more. And now I'm gonna have to deal with I'm gonna have to call my boy Keith Lee, and we're gonna have to deal with these guys again. Backstage, Sean Spears, he says Wardlow's mystery opponent is 7 feet tall and has a lot of PP, which is pinnacle potential. Wardlow had that, but he bit the hand that fed him. He turned his back on us, and now he is all alone. And that is that. Of course, it's going to be Big Kaz XL, a.k.a. W. Morrissey. from Impact Wrestling, which he's still signed to Impact Wrestling, so don't expect to see W. Morrissey after past this one time. Jericho, Excalibur is talking about the fireball attack on Eddie Kingston from Chris Jericho. Jericho named himself the Sports Entertainer of the Week. Santana Ortiz come out, and Santana goes after him and just slaps the taste out of his mouth. He falls to the mat, selling it. Santana gets on him a bit, starts punching the shit out of him, and then those two eventually leave as security breaks it up. After break, Jericho says he took out Eddie Kingston, and he's going to take out Santana next. He put a hit out the first time, he's going to put a hit out again, and he's going to make Santana pay, and that match will be happening on Wednesday night. The baddies win over Trissador, Willa Nightingale, and Sky Blue. Of course they do. The only positive I can see about this entire group is it lets Kiera Hogan and Red Velvet, if they're in trios action, do the heavy lifting. Jay can come in, hit a shitty big boot, and then hit the Glam Slam for the finish. And no, it's not the Jaded, it's the Glam Slam. You want to have your own fucking finisher? Go get your own fucking finisher. Stop stealing from Hall of Famers. Match was nothing. Tony Schiavone's battle, we already talked about that. Keith Lee versus Colton Gunn. Colton did not get an entrance. They start a lockup. Of course, they get a Basket and Glory chant, then an Ass Boys chant, which Keith Lee just gets a big smile on his face. Gunn sneaks behind Keith and pounds away on his back in the kidney area, which is a smart thing to do. I mean, how is she going to take the big man down? You either chop block him or you attack the kidneys. Just saying. Backs Lee into a corner, but Lee is not phased. He turns the tables and punches away in the corner. With the double overhand chop. And I'm watching this on tape delaying at home, and my chest fucking hurt from that shot. My goodness. After break, Lee catches Gunn charging in and takes him down with a chokehold. Gunn tries to fire back, but Lee lays him out with a forearm to the jaw. Lee throws Gunn out of the corner and across the ring. He yeeted him, just like everyone else. Shane charges across the ring, but misses. Gunn tries for the Famouser, but Lee escapes and tries for the Spear Bomb. Gunn escapes. He tries to go for the Colt 45. Keith Lee nails the Big Bang Catastrophe, which for some reason they will not call it that, for the 1, 2, 3, and Keith Lee picks up the win. Tony Schiavone talks backstage with Matt and Jeff Hardy. Jeff said he's stepping into the solo dimension for the first time in AEW when he faces Bobby Fish in the Owen Hart Foundation qualifying match. We hear from the Young Bucks, Adam Cole, Red Dragon. Cole says there's no way Jeff is beating Bobby Fish, and that'll make 3 members of the Undisputed Elite in the Owen Hart tournament. And he says that it's a guarantee that they are going to win. One of them is going to win the Owen Hart Cup. Now, as I mentioned on Wednesday, from what it looks like, I don't see anywhere that they said this is going to be an 8-man tournament, or an 8-man and 8-woman tournament. What if it is a 6-person tournament? What if it's a 6-person men and women tournament? Bobby Lashley beats Jeff Hardy. Not Bobby Lashley. Bobby Fish beats Jeff Hardy. Each member of the Undisputed Elite have Owen Hart Cup matches against Keith Lee, Darby Allin, and who else is in there? Dax Harwood. And each member of the Undisputed Elite beats the other men that they're going up against. So when we get to the finals, it's Cole versus Fish versus O'Reilly, and then you guarantee yourself. Is that going to happen? Probably not. Again, I don't understand how they're trying. It's like we have one Wednesday, and one Friday left. We have one qualifying tournament match on Wednesday. That's Jeff Hardy versus Bobby Fish. What are you going to do for the other two? They're supposed to, if this is an 8-person men and 8, if these are 8 persons tournaments, 8 men, 8 women. You got one Friday left. Are you going to have 2 matches each? Is that going to be the entire Rampage next week? No, it's not, because they named a couple matches for Rampage, and they're not Owen Hart tournament matches. So I believe we are getting 6 men and 6 women for these tournaments. 1 match each. Winners go to the finals. Finals happen at Double or Nothing, and we go from there. Danhausen makes his way to the ring. He says he's hit a decimate hook. He's had enough of this guy. He's tried to get rid, tried to curse him and everything. And he says, "Send a Hook." Hook makes his entrance. He's wearing sweatpants, no t-shirt, of course. Hook and Danhausen go face to face. Danhausen says, "Maybe we should do this another time." Hook says, "We're doing this right now." So Jericho's like, "Oh, he speaks." Mark Sterling strolls out and says to hold everything. Nice attacks Hook from behind because he's like, "Do you guys really want to see this? You really want to see these two? Really? Really? Because I don't. Nice attacks. He takes down Hook. Goes to attack Danhausen. For whatever reason, Mark Sterling gets in there and tries to hold Hook back. Hook breaks free, flips him forward, and then takes out Tony Nese. Hook, Danhausen gets up and starts doing the curse to these guys. They start going forward. Hook gets back up and scares them away. Danhausen turns around and we get a Hookhausen chant. Are we leading to our own version of RK Bro? Hook and Danhausen? I hope the fuck not. Hook wants to shake hands. Hook grabs him by the collar, says something to him, and pushes him away and walks away. Backstage, Lexington is backstage with Austin and Colton Gunn. They're trying to make excuses for Colton's loss. The Acclaim enter and they want to join forces. The Gun Club say they gotta go speak to Danny and walk away. Wednesday night. This coming Wednesday, Owen Hart Foundation qualifying tournament. Bobby Fish versus Jeff Hardy. MJF, a mystery opponent versus Wardlow. Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Deonna Purrazzo versus Interim Champion Mercedes Martinez. Blackpool Combat Club versus The Butcher, The Blade, and Angelico. Jack Evans has been released contract is up, so he is done. Angelico's a singles dude now. Angelico versus Santana, and next week on Rampage, The Faker and Jamie Hayter versus Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. We all saw this coming after their interaction on Wednesday night, and Hook will be in action. So, unless Hook is in a qualifying match for the Owen Hart tournament, we are going to have 6 men and 6 women after Wednesday night. Caliper says Tony Khan will announce more matches on social media next week for both Rampage and Wednesday night, so make sure to pay attention to Tony Khan's social media. If you are on the Twitter and you don't follow, if you're a wrestling fan and you're on Twitter and you don't follow Tony Khan, I don't know what you're doing, because he always makes matches going into next week, which we already have 5 matches for Wednesday night, so I don't expect to see much more added unless they're going to have some other qualifying matches for the Owen Hart Cup, because they go, oh shit, we only have one Wednesday and one Friday left, and we only have 6 spots for each going in after, we have 6 spots filled on the women's side and 5 for the men, except for it'll be 6 on Wednesday. I don't know. Mike Henry chats with Samoa Joe and them, and when Ian Riccaboni joins commentary with Bobby Cruz as the ring announcer, which should be a thing, and honestly, I wish they would have excused Chris Jericho and Taz and give this to Ian Riccaboni and Excalibur, or Excalibur gone. Chris Jericho had to leave. I do not want to hear 4 men try to call. 4 men, 4 women, 4 commentators. Fuck it. Fuck the gender things. 4 commentators. I do not want to hear 4 commentators trying to call one fucking match. It is just, everyone is talking over each other, and it's absolutely annoying. Joe versus Beretta, Code of Honor before the battle, of course, which is great. I do like the fact that we have, the fingerprints, all of Ring of Honor is all over. Tony Khan is trying to do with as much with Ring of Honor as he can right now. He has been, I guess, in talks with Warner Media and Discovery about what they can do for TV time for Ring of Honor. Fuck, make it a morning show. I don't care. The 2 trade holds to start before Beretta gets control with the side headlock. Joe pushes Beretta off to meet him in the shoulder block. The chops at Beretta. Joe chops at Beretta in the corner and whips him across the ring. Beretta rolls to the floor. Joe goes for a dive. Beretta avoids it. Hits the Asai moonsault to the floor and takes Joe down. Beretta tries to roll Joe into the ring, but Joe rolls back from the floor. Beretta pursues with chops, goes for a swinging DDT, but Joe pushes him off. Hits the big boot. We go to the picture-in-picture break, back from break. And Joe's controlled, looking for a powerbomb, but Beretta flips out of it and hits a dropkick. Samoa Joe retreats to the floor. Beretta follows with a dropkick and goes to the top rope. Beretta hits a crossbody, which Jericho mentioned that a Japanese wrestling magazine would love that crossbody. Back in the ring, Beretta fires away with some chops. Joe swings wildly and Beretta hits a back suplex. Beretta follows with a swinging DDT for a 2 count. Beretta tries to lift Joe up to the strong zero, but Joe responds with a powerbomb. Locks in the STF, but Beretta is able to crawl. He locks in the STF, eventually transitions into a crossface, but eventually Beretta was able to get to the ropes. Joe slaps up Beretta. Beretta gets back to his feet and slaps Joe back. Joe levels Beretta and takes him into the corner. Tries for the muscle buster, and I've never seen anybody get out of the muscle buster like this. He goes for the muscle buster, and Beretta is able to slide off of Joe and get him into a roll-up for a 2 count. I've never seen that happen before. Beretta charges in the corner, but Joe hits the bitch get off me Uranagi, where he just lifts him up and throws him down. Locks in the Coquina clutch. 1, and that is that. Samoa Joe wins by not pin and not even tap out. Beretta goes down and passes out. Tony Schiavone steps in the ring. After the match is over, they do observe the Code of Honor, which is great. Joe's almost immediately interrupted by Sanjay Dutt, Jay Lethal, and Samoa Joe. I'm sorry, Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh. They head down the ramp. Satnam Singh takes his jacket off, and he goes to walk down. Orange Cassidy puts his arms back. He's like, I got this. He walks in front of Satnam, puts his hands in his pockets, starts doing the kicks to the leg. And then Jay Lethal just blasts Orange Cassidy, and then they fight. Jay Lethal gets into the ring. And the show ends with Samoa Joe and Jay Lethal beating the hell out of each other. And the referee, security, Pat Buck, and Jerry Lynn coming in to try and break everything up. And the last thing we see is Samoa Joe Jay Lethal being held back, just screaming at Samoa Joe. So, SmackDown was a waste of time tonight. If you didn't watch it, good on you. You could have found the results last week. Rampage was pretty good tonight. Really don't care for Jay Cargill and her baddies. I mean, it's good to have her that they want to have her in like trios matches. That's fine. I still think that how they're gonna set up Jay Cargill versus Faker at the pay-per-view, which is where I feel it's going, is that Red Velvet is going to win her match over the Faker by having Jade Cargill screw and attack. Like, they're going to have some kind of they're going to attack, or she's going to lay out the Faker when the referee isn't looking or the referee's knocked out. I think Kiera Hogan and Jade Cargill are going to be in Red Velvet's corner for that match, and it's going to end up being that they cost the Faker the match. Red Velvet moves on to whatever happens afterwards, and then the Faker can sit there, whine and complain about, oh, I got fucked over in my match. I want a match against you, blah blah blah, and we get the match at the pay-per-view, and it's gonna be a total shit show. Jeff Hardy, like I said, if Bobby Fish wins, then it's gonna be a triple. I think we're going to have triple threat finals for the Owen Hart Cup tournament for both men and women, and all 3 members of the Undisputed Elite are going to be in the finals. We'll see what happens there. Rampage was pretty good tonight. SmackDown again sucks. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the Frowns Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The Frowns Club. And find me on Instagram at The Frowns Club. And I'll see you guys on Monday for Raw. Actually, Sunday morning, I'm probably going to have a review up for I think it's Defy Wrestling's doing a show on Pluto at 11 p.m. my time. So I might have to see if I can look into that. If I get that on YouTube, you'll see it. If not, then you'll see it on Monday. Until then, my name's The Frowns, and I'll see you guys later.